Pressure is being put on the European Central Bank as data releases show that manufacturing and services shrank in France, while in Germany, factory activity cooled to the slowest pace in 15 months. I'm on the line with Claus Vistesen, Chief Eurozone Economist at Pantheon Macroeconomics. Claus, welcome to Dukascopy. Now, the euro area manufacturing and services growth was at the weakest pace this year. What was your reaction to this? Was it as unexpected as reports say?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit unexpected. I think the manufacturing weakness we saw was particularly driven by, or mainly driven by, a plunge in Germany, or further weakness in Germany. So that was a little bit surprising. The fact that we saw weakness as such, perhaps not so surprising, because the momentum has been waning in both indices, to say both in the services and the manufacturing indices. So, we're still, the PMI survey, it's just one survey, but it's still telling a story of relatively weak growth, and particularly of a loss in momentum of growth, with especially the manufacturing sector. And now, we're very close to sort of a recession type environment within the manufacturing sector, with manufacturing readings in Italy and France very poor, and Germany also coming down. So it's not looking very, very well for the cyclical industries in Eurozone at the moment.
ECB President Mario Draghi pledged yesterday that officials will become more active in their fight to restore growth. Now, they've already cut interest rates to record lows, and they've said they'll buy asset-backed securities. What more can they do?
They could buy government bonds, and I think analysts and market participants and journalists and sort of the whole commentary environment around the Eurozone is basically sort of more or less in a frenzy over when the ECB is going to start buying sovereign bonds and how they'll do it. My own view is that sovereign bond purchases in the Eurozone is reserved for a crisis. This is to say for an event in which government bond yields in the periphery start to break out or blow out. And it's also important to note that the ECB is basically scrambling to fulfill expectations that seems to be more and more elevated each month as the economic data comes in relatively weak. So, for example, if we're talking about quantitative easing in the Eurozone, it's already here. It's starting next month. The ECB is going to be buying assets in the market next month at a grand scale. That is unprecedented in Eurozone. We've never seen that before. That is a very, very big move from the ECB. If the speech you're referring to from Draghi, he also said very clearly that they've moved, that the ECB is moving towards a monetary policy regime in which they seek to much more actively expand the balance sheet. Now, these are unprecedented steps for the Eurozone, but it seems as if the market's not really paying attention because they're not buying government bonds, and that's kind of what the market's waiting for. But what the ECB is doing now is actually still unprecedented relative to what we've seen from the European Central Bank so far in this crisis.
Now, Claus, what are your predictions for the Eurozone as well as the euro?
Well, this year is probably going to be quite poor. I mean, we're closing the third quarter now in terms of the sentiment data this week, and then the sentiment data is not very strong, and it looks as if it could be another relatively disappointing third quarter, although I do think growth will be positive. And that, again, paints a picture of 2014, which, again, is going to be depressingly positive. I mean, it's very difficult to get over 1% GDP growth this year if you look at the data right now, which is just a little bit depressing because we're supposed to be in a recovery, and you've seen asset prices recover quite a bit, but it's just not filtering through the economy. And that's just a lingering problem in the Eurozone, because that means that the government debt ratios and sort of the structural problems in the heavily indebted peripheral countries is not going to be addressed, and also unemployment issues are not going to be addressed. So the structural foundations for growth are just not there at the moment. And if you look at trend growth in the Eurozone as a whole, but also in the individual countries, it's just not very positive at the moment. And we're seeing nothing in the data, unfortunately, at the moment that allows us to change that view.
Thank you for your insight, Claus. A lot to think about for the Eurozone. Dukascopy TV is updated on a regular basis, so do stay tuned. Goodbye for now.